Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices.
Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Chris.
I'm Audra.
That was weak. I'm Tony.
I'm Sherry. I'm Lourdes.
I'm not sure why I'm here right now.
I don't know where I am.
I don't know where I am. Did we start lagging as soon as the show started? Is that what happened?
No.
All right, good.
Good.
No,
I'm seeing.
I probably made it look like it was lagging because I was screwing around. But
I'm seeing it a little bit up now, so it always does that. It runs perfectly when we test it before the show, and then as soon as the show starts, it's like everything.
No, I'm not seeing it at all, so I think you're good.
All right.
cool.
Maybe we're just seeing it like that.
Any of you guys do anything exciting since last show?
We went to see his father play drums again.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Yeah, I had an outdoor concert thing Sunday. The weather held up just long enough, which was perfect. Other than that, the rest of the weekend we worked on the Statacom project stuff, and then Saturday night we ran probably 3 hours maybe at least of Statacom. Like we really recorded for a while. It was exceptionally clear and quiet between vocals. So I'm really really intrigued to see what it sounds like in review. We heard a lot in the moment. So
It was pretty good.
that was our weekend.
Yep.
That's awesome.
How about you guys?
We didn't get an opportunity to run Statacom, but we did everything else. We did editing to the documentary. We proposed new materials to come out because Cherie and I are pushing the TDSI, or the Digital Seance Initiative, that Ron and Lourdes started on the East Coast. We've got some locations already set. I don't want to mention them yet because I don't know times or the details yet, but they're unfolding. So Phoenix is going to get an opportunity to be able to come and witness it for themselves, ask their own questions, and find out exactly what Statacom is capable of. So we're looking forward.
Very nice. Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that
sounds very exciting.
That is very cool. You had a glimpse of it at your last event. What happens when you touch somebody on a personal level because they had a moment, and you'll find that's going to be the most rewarding thing, and you're going to see it happen more and more. So that's exciting.
Three or four people that I can think of. The gentleman who asked his mother's name, which was a strange name, but he got it.
Yeah.
Then the gentleman who spoke his responses or his questions in Spanish got his replies in Spanish. And then poor Roger, who simply asked, "Can I speak to you by myself?" And they told him, "No, he can't."
And we're gonna try the Staticom at Montgomery, right?
Hells yeah.
So
Yeah.
weekend we were preparing for next Friday, because North Carolina has a major event happening and they don't even realize what's going down. Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. The entire team will be right here in this house. And then the next night, we will be in the Montgomery house, and we are probably going to go live with a Digital Seance Initiative with the Statacom. So,
Pretty cool. I can't wait for it. Exciting.
We're all going to be in the same room for the first time.
All six of us. That's never happened before.
yeah.
No, it is never. We're going to violate some law of science or nature doing this, but that's okay.
The scariest thing is all six of us are going to be in the Bible Belt. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's the double. Wow. Just like any other belt, as soon as you go below it, there's the nuts.
Oh my goodness.
You brought me here.
You brought me here.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. We always repeat this on so many shows, but this show got us through when the pandemic shut everything down. We forged relationships with the four of you guys that we wouldn't trade for anything. It made us realize that this field is where we belong because we have the opportunity to be a part of the same path that you guys are on, share what we're doing now, have this family thing we have here. So to have us all in the same room after this many years, and then hopefully we'll more frequently be able to do it. I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Me
Yeah,
too.
we're excited.
Yeah,
We
us
are
too.
excited.
Us
Yep.
too.
I've been cleaning.
Poor Audra. Poor Audra.
I want you to know she even made me redo the entire front door.
Whatever. Tell them why.
You had to make it taller so I would fit through it. I understand.
Yeah. Actually, it was my fault.
Yeah.
I was edging the front yard a couple weeks ago, and I shot a rock through the glass on the front door, so I had to replace it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You don't want to use that 1940s wood that has that vertical splinter conjunction. I'm trying to sound like him. I don't know anything about that.
I was trying to wonder what he was. I was
So
thinking.
it's like
She
this,
don't
the
even
door.
know.
Was trying to figure
I
it
can't-
out.
I
What
can't
the
even-
heck are you talking
I
about?
can't even fake the shit he knows. That's like
That was awesome. But I do have to give Audra credit. We looked at a house in Concord this weekend because we're looking for older homes. And we were looking through the pictures, and I went, wow, it's the original doors. And I looked at Audra and went, how can you tell? And she got the answer correct on the first try. I was
Nice. Nice.
yes. Alice doesn't have to wonder, Lan.
No,
Sometimes.
no, she's not. I bet you guys are wondering why we brought you all here this week.
Just to say hey.
Oh yeah.
So we have
That's
got a really great guest out of Tony and Cherie's territory up in Prescott.
Yep.
She's probably going to yell at me for saying it wrong. Prescott. No, no. We'll have to ask Darlene when she comes in. Let me introduce Darlene Wilson with A Haunted Experience Tours. Everybody say hello to Darlene.
Hello,
Yeah. Hello, Darlene.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
All right, Darlene, answer that age-old question. Is it Prescott or Prescott?
It's Prescott.
Oh, there you go.
That's good.
Prescott.
And then when they asked me where I was from when I used to go up there all the time, I'm like, oh, okay, you're from Prescott. I'm from Skitsdale.
Skid still.
No, little history. It's actually named after Darlene.
William Prescott.
There you go.
And he's never been to Prescott.
No.
Mm.
What?
Yep. They
Wow.
picked that. They just liked that name. He was a frontiersman. So, I mean, give him some credit, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Darlene, when we have new guests on the show, we like to ask you the question, explain to our audience what got you into the paranormal.
Well, it started about 46 years ago. And I was living in Oklahoma. You want to talk about a Bible Belt. And a lady that I was working with asked me if I was psychic. And I didn't even know what the word meant. And she explained that she was getting a divorce. She was serving her husband papers. To picture him getting the papers and not getting the papers and back and forth until whatever was the strongest. So I'm like, okay, I'll play along. And so I'm saying he's getting them, he's not getting them. And then all of a sudden this picture just came into my head. And I said, does he have a black and blue and yellow and white plaid sports coat? And she said, yes. And I said, does he have an ornate desk with a glass top and a coat tree that matches? And she started freaking out. And she's like, how are you doing this? And I said, I don't know. You're telling me how to do this. And so then I just started taking classes and reading books. And then my first ghost encounter was at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. I used to live in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And I didn't know anything about The Shining. I've still never seen it. Don't plan on it. But ended up spending the night in the hotel and having a ghost of a little boy enter my body. And I had a friend there with me, and I knew I needed her to get the light on. And so when I went to say her name, it comes out like Linda. And I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna scare the shit out of her. And she said, Darlene. And I was afraid to say anything else. And she said, do I want to turn the light on? And I said, yes. And so when she did, it left my body so fast, the whole bed is shaking. And she said, do I want to know what just happened? And I said, no. And she said, do we want to sleep with the light on? And I said, definitely. And, so then I moved to Prescott, and I've been doing the tours here for 13 years. And I thought it was just a little fad. It wouldn't last long. And so 2 books later and 13 years later, it's been great. It's been fun. I enjoy it.
You have a new book coming out soon, right?
September, Haunted Mining Towns of Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a doozy, but it was fun. I learned so much more about the whole state and all the old mining towns that were here, and sad to see some of them abandoned, but we did do some investigations on the lands and where they were and got some interesting things.
Well, you investigated Phelps Dodge, right?
I'm sorry?
You investigated Phelps Dodge, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thanks to you. You got us in there.
It was easy. We ran it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish you still did.
Yeah, me too.
Hell, I
Yeah,
still have the
and
key.
that was cool. That we got some interesting things that happened while we were there.
We caught a lot of stuff in that place.
That was a great
Yeah. Chris and Audra used to help us run it for over a year and a half. I don't even know how long it was. Long time. Then they moved.
And it's for sale again. So
Yeah, still.
Well, if anybody wants a tour, I still have a key.
all right.
So do I, but I doubt it works.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a very special place. Even the town, Ajo, is just a neat little town.
Yeah,
if you just spend a little time there and kind of take it for more than what you just glance at, then it's really special.
So, Darlene, we were within 2 weeks of buying plane tickets to do our first event with the Rathmans, and we were going to go out to the hospital in Ajo, and they were going to show us around. We'd heard about it. They did it. Chris and Audra did it. And then Tony calls us and goes, they sold it. We don't have it anymore. So they ended up coming out to the Northeast to do something with us, and we set this whole big thing up. But we were literally
seriously
that close to booking tickets to come out there.
Yeah, it is. It's creepy. I saw an orderly staring at me way down the end of the hall. We didn't get a video of it, but it was like somebody had a laser grid set up, and I'm looking straight down the hall, and I see him. He's in his white, top shirt, and he's like staring at me, and I'm staring at him. But you know how long that hallway is in there, and then he just kind of bowed and just walked off to the side of it.
Wow.
And then we put paper down, with baby powder on it. And we're in the hallway and we're sitting around doing the Estes session. And we heard somebody walking around on the paper. But when we go back there, the baby powder wasn't disturbed. But we definitely heard them walking on it.
So let me ask you a question, Darlene, since we're mentioning that. So in your younger years, when that happened to you, when something went inside you, has it happened to you again? And
oh no, I set my boundaries.
Okay.
I told them, I said, you're welcome to tap me on the shoulder, or if an odor, a smell of some kind, but you will never ever enter my body again. And it was a little boy. He's 5 years old. He died in the hotel, and I told the manager, I said, he was in the room above us, jumping up and down on the bed. And that was my first ghost encounter. I had always worked with guides, and I've worked through a friend helping the police find missing children and a murderer, and started getting migraines. So I was told, okay, it's time to quit. But thank God I did not like doing that. But I learned to set my boundaries. And even on the tours, I mean, you know, as simple as a tour sounds, they are still there and they are still active. Yeah. Yeah. And I do a lot of clearings, and people that work at the Palace Saloon there in Prescott. So I've had to go to their home and do a clearing because they've taken something home with them from the saloon. And some of them are pretty, could be dangerous, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But nope, never enter my body again.
Yeah. I'm asking because I had a similar experience, but not me, my mom. A spirit entered her body and it didn't have permission. So I was just wondering. It never happened to her again. So I was just wondering.
Yeah. I mean, that was my first ghost encounter, really, was that.
Wow.
Yeah. Mine too, actually.
Encounter.
That was in 1989 when that happened.
Wow. Yeah, Audra and I actually, when we go into investigations, I tell them, you can talk to me, I can hear you, I can sense you, I know you're there, I can feel you. I don't want you touching me, and you definitely aren't welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had them tap me on the shoulder here in town, you know, when I've done, and there's a lot more activity when you have a paranormal group on your tour and you're doing a tour with them, because their energy is different, but we have a lot more interaction. And the Hacienda Inn, Tony, I don't know if you guys have ever been up here and gone through any of the hotels, but
we have.
They're very good. They don't let anybody investigate it. And I've been fortunate enough that I've done some presentations for them and kind of saved their butt a little bit. And so they allow me to do investigations. So she sent me a note saying, if you want to bring a team in, she said, then we'll have a special rate for you and stay at the hotel and you can investigate. So
that'd be nice.
It's a neat hotel.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They seem to be having some very strange connectivity issues. I mean, we have the highest Cox internet known to man, and yet street that they were getting off all day long. If we freeze up or something, I apologize. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's Tony and Cherie that keep freezing.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Yeah.
We were having that problem here a couple of weeks in a row, and then we tried to do some things to reset the router or whatever, and then like it kept happening to us. So like now they're stealing our act, because now they're freezing up.
Moving around.
Shree and our daughter work from home. They said they were having problems all day getting kicked off. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching, the one thing Ron didn't say was that he was having a problem with his Cox.
I still, it reminded me of that story that Tony told about when he first got high-speed internet, and every time I think of that story, I just crack up. It's
where you were sitting in the bar talking about it. Yeah.
Nobody even knew the name then. It was brand new. I mean, I think we purchased it within 48 hours of them even running the very first ad. And the name is a little strange, but when you're in a bar and there's people talking and you scream to your friend, you gotta love Cox. That doesn't sound good.
COX, just in case anybody wants to know.
Yes,
I followed it with high-speed internet.
Yes.
I apologize, Darlene. I apologize.
No,
it wasn't
very
one of my prouder
entertaining.
moments.
Oh, it was.
I warned Darlene that we weren't very mature.
Tony's not telling you he drank for free for the rest of the night. That's what he's
Men were buying drinks for the rest of the night.
You don't want to grow up too fast.
right.
We got that covered.
Yeah.
we sure do. You guys sound good now. You sound good and you look good. Seems like it's stabilized.
Yep.
What's up, Courtney? Katie Holte also tuned in while soldering. Please have all your fingers when the show's over.
Yes, seriously, girl.
Or don't have them fused into one.
Please just
she
listen
cut her
in.
finger soldering.
no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. All right, so let's take a look at some of Darlene's evidence.
Oh, this is an evidence-based show?
Yeah, we have evidence on these
Oh,
shows.
dang.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, so far we've shown evidence of lack of maturity.
Yeah. We show that every week.
But yes, we appreciate Darlene coming on and
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's nice to take.
and it's
Well,
nice
it's
to
really
introduce
neat
not only
because I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's nice to introduce not only investigators that people may not know who you are or may not have heard you before, but they have the opportunity to learn about you, your books, and then the locations that you go to and support. And that's one of the things that we love about doing this. So
Right.
Well, and the
Yeah.
good thing is if you guys look at the promos that we put out, it's got the name of Darlene's tour company that she has up there in Prescott. And
very cool.
what's fantastic about people like Darlene is for investigators that go to that area and don't know where to go. Darlene's the type of person that you want to hook up with and go on her tours where she can show you some of those locations and probably turn you on to the ones that will let you do an investigation, because we do have a ton of investigators that watch our show, Darlene. So
That's
hopefully we
great.
get you some more tours out there from some of the people watching.
It's been the weather's gotten warmer because we're a mile high, so it's a little cooler up here. And I had tours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. So typically I just do them Friday and Saturday nights. But in October I do them almost every night. And I tell people the ghosts are here year round, but
Right.
they wait till October. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So most of our viewers are towards the East Coast. Darlene, tell them what the temperature in Prescott was today.
I think our high was we might have gotten to 70. And we'll be
Wow, it's like here.
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
tonight.
And
And,
Tony, what was it in Phoenix?
I don't know.
It's hot. It's
If it
probably
was
like
70
19.
here, it had
It's
to
probably
be.
upper 80s, I would think.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad today, but I mean,
Yeah.
we've hit
It was a nice day.
we hit 99. I don't think we've hit 100 yet, but
Not yet.
April we were hitting 99. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
oh, Roger says 100. It wasn't 100 today, Roger.
So for everybody watching that doesn't know the Phoenix area, Phoenix sits in what's called the Valley of the Sun. It's surrounded by mountain ranges in all four directions. And Prescott is, as you're going up the northern mountain range, about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours north of where Tony and Cherie is. But the temperature difference between Phoenix and Prescott is huge.
Yep. That's why
Yeah.
we get a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of- We get a lot of valley folks up here in the.
Look at the way they froze.
summertime.
It's wonderful. I'm sorry. Look at Tony's smile.
I got a picture of it.
Love
So this is
it.
what Tony looks like when he's been drinking and gets in trouble. See the look on Cherie's face?
That's where he says, I love cocks.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, we had a
best.
warm day here.
Yeah, it was warm actually.
Are we
80s.
unfrozen
I don't
yet?
know. Maybe they should just
Getting
go
there.
out and
We're
come
getting
back in.
I love that look.
This is insane.
That's
Okay,
frustrating though
have
too.
us
Like
more frozen
It
more?
is.
it happens to
Yeah,
us
so-
a couple weeks in a row.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
Darlene,
Maybe
I'll start
they
with your
should
picture.
pull out, come back
Yeah.
in.
Pull
Yeah,
out,
I'm
come
gonna
back
do
to-
that. Sorry, Chris. I'm gonna do that. Just continue on. We'll come right back. I just want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna restart
You're
this
good.
computer too. Something's not right. So we'll be back.
You're good. So, Darlene, what I'm going to do is when I show pictures, we
Yes.
can talk when the pictures
Okay.
are up. And
Okay.
if we want to zoom in on the pictures, I can share a screen because in StreamYard, it doesn't allow us to zoom.
All right.
So I might go to share a screen.
Okay.
That way I can zoom while we're going live, but we can talk during the pictures. During
Okay.
the videos, they won't be able to hear us.
All right.
So
I've
the
been really
first one-
fortunate. People on my tour have captured pictures and they share them, which is really nice. I get some that don't share, and I wish they would, but
Yeah.
That's awesome.
but yeah, it's just I've been really thrilled with some of the activity that we get on a tour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really neat.
So the first couple that we have is the Hotel Vendome,
Right.
the lobby orbs.
Yeah. So it was built in 1917, and
Beautiful.
Jack Jones came from Texas. He built it. No one knows where he came up with the name Vendome. Back then, there was a Hotel Vendome in Paris, and this is just a a farmer from Texas. So the famous ghost there is Abby and her cat Noble. And this is down in the lobby where we took some pictures. So it's 105 years old. And Abby, Noble is a black cat, and he is very active. You'll catch him. In fact, Sunday night I had a group, and they could hear a cat meowing. And there's no cats in this area downtown, so they really think it might have been Noble. But I used to help out the previous managers and worked in there, which was pretty cool to work in a haunted hotel. And one night, this cat brushed up against my legs and meowed, and I have a cat at home, so I didn't think anything of it. And I looked down, and there's nobody there. So I just said, okay, Noble, what do you want? And then I think you've got a picture.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that picture back up, and I'm going to share the screen so we can zoom in on it, because there's something about that picture that I really want.
I'm not recording.
It's when he speaks.
No.
Where did that one go?
I thought it was the door, but it's not.
There it is. No, that's not it. Let's put this one over here.
I did a seance in that hotel once.
There it is.
One night.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Darlene. Sure. See the indentations? Can you see the hand, my cursor?
Yes.
Is that indentation usually there? Oh. Wow, it's really freaking out.
No.
Yeah, we can really see all your hands.
It's like a lot of high fives going on there.
Yeah.
I had noticed that. I was trying to figure out, because you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the chair's made out of. That could be a permanent imprint from,
It could be, because if it has that material that if you move it, it turns darker or lighter.
They don't even have that chair anymore, but it was just down there in the lobby for a short time. But we did have a paranormal group visit, and she said she felt that she sat in that chair and felt the cat jump up in her lap.
Oh, that'd make you piss yourself, wouldn't it?
I mean, it really does look like an indentation. If you look at it, really does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does, but you don't know if that could be.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. But that orb is.
The orb is interesting because it has a clear line border around it that's like that's like mathematically like perfect.
It's like a sphere of energy. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, it's got a darkened line, like the white glow has a border, and then it's got a ring around that on the outside of it.
I've gotten several like that over at the Palace, but they're always a turquoise orb.
Wow.
And if you enlarge it, it looks like a jellyfish. I mean, it's so 3D.
And another way to prove this is paranormal and discount dust is there's only one, and it's the size of a softball.
Yeah.
Most of your dust, most of the dust that reflect cameras or flashes or stuff like that is usually a smaller. This is a pretty predominant orb.
It does look like there might be another one on the arm of the chair, the right arm.
Yeah.
I thought there were two as well when I first looked at it.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that.
But it doesn't have the same characteristic. That line is really what throws me on that orb.
That one's intriguing.
Like that bordered line is like that's
yeah.
Unless it was, I don't know what kind of reflective shape it could be, like a lens or something could be doing that, because it's so precise. But that's really unique looking.
Do you think that's possible, Chris? Like, let's say it's a lens, right? From the lens, because it's the light of the back of the chair. You see the back of the back of the chair. There's a light. So let's say if you're taking the picture with the lens, like let's say on an iPhone.
No.
Do you think that would cause that?
No, and let me tell you why. Because see this light ridge of light right here? This light ridge of light tells us that the direction of light comes this way and would surpass the cushion of the chair. Because you're not seeing the reflection of light here on the arm. So the back of the chair is high enough that it's blocking any light that would cause any lens flare or capture.
But then what about the light from the arm? You see that light right there?
Yeah, that's
right here.
Yeah.
That is even more blocked because now you have the back of the chair here, and then you got the front part of the arm here. If this was caused by the light, you would see a trail of light coming off of it.
Oh, that I would say, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would for sure rule dust and bugs out. It's clearly not either of those. If that was a bug, I wouldn't want to live there because that's big.
Well, and you can, I mean, see, Darlene, we love pictures like this because we can pick them apart. And I'm huge on situational. Even though Audra and I are sensitive, I'm also huge on situational awareness because I used to be. I'm an ops guy, and I used to be in law enforcement, so I'm data and fact based at the same time. So I pick apart these pictures before I even show them.
Good.
But you can see the lights casted here. This was probably from the flash.
Right.
Because that's coming off the varnish of the window. This is light coming off the lamp. The lamp is shining onto this light, and you can see the ridge of light on the back of this chair here. So that tells you that this was a yellowish, not a bright white LED bulb. It was a yellowish type bulb. And if
that's true.
And if this orb was caught because of the camera, it would have. The light is not directional enough. Because you can see how there's shadows in the chair here. So if this was caught from this lamp, there would have been light in this area too. Right. And there would be streaking from it. And there's not. That's a pretty solid orb.
Cool.
I would not discount that at all.
So Team Rathman is back. I don't know if this is your first glance at this you see there's a very pronounced circular ridge that is not the outside of the orb. It has a layer around it of the same thing that encompasses the inside of it. You see, like it's a little dark ring.
Now, could my camera? I mean, it's my Droid phone. Would it make that happen?
No.
Okay.
No, usually when you see a light anomaly caused by a Droid or like an Apple phone, it's usually the directional focus light that you see in the camera. It's usually a bluish or greenish.
Yeah, the little bitty dot, I call
it.
Yeah.
It's,
so when I'm
really
doing the tours, I always tell people that they want to have their flash on and they want to take 3 pictures. If it's a reflection, it'll show up in all 3 pictures.
Correct.
If it's a ghost, it's only going to show up in 1. And so, I mean, that's just kind of a little set thing for them to do. But it gets some good ones sometimes. This is one I took.
Yeah, that's definitely not caused by the flash. Because you can see the definite color and the difference. It's not from this because the back of the chair is blocking it.
Cool.
Yeah, the whole concept and topic of orbs gets dismissed way too easily sometimes. I don't think that every one of them is garbage. I don't think every one of them is a spirit. I think most of us, including us sitting right here, our education in the field doesn't go deep enough into that area. I think people with photographic study and background probably have a better idea what they're looking at. But this one sparks debate because I would not just look at this and dismiss it. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
Now, this is the same lobby. Let's look at this one.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are good.
I took that with my camera. One afternoon, I just came in and took those. And the story behind this is that one night I had a couple come in to look at a room, and I'm showing them the room, and their backs are to the hallway. And so all of a sudden, I see the shadow of a cowboy walking down the hallway. And I'm watching them thinking there's nobody else here. And they're like, "What are you looking at?" And I just said, "Oh, it's nothing." And then 2 weeks later, we had the Paranormal Network TV people there from Las Vegas. And one of the investigators comes downstairs. And the next night when they did my tour, he asked me if I'd seen the shadow of a cowboy in the hallway. And then about 5 months later, we had a guest staying in one of the rooms upstairs. And Stephanie's working that day. And the lady introduced herself and said she was a medium and was something going on at the end of the hallway on the first floor. And Stephanie said, we are getting noises we've never had before. And she said, if the rooms are empty, I'd like to go sit in them. And so she did. And when she came out, she said, I believe this happened. I believe that there was a cowboy staying in room 14, which is at the end of the hall. And he was very attracted to the woman across the hall, but he was very shy and would never say anything to her. So he would go out to Whiskey Row, have a couple of beers and come back. and would get a chair and sit it outside underneath her window and sit there all night to make sure she was safe. So I went to see, a friend of mine went to see this psychic lady in Flagstaff. Her name's Charisse. And my friend said, you want to ride along and catch up and visit? And I said, sure. So we did. And Charisse, when I came in the room, she said, oh, your mother just passed away. And I said, yes, she did. And she said, well, she wants me to tell you that she'll never admit you were right. So I showed her these orbs. And I said, have you ever been to the Hotel Vendome? And she said, I've never been to Prescott. So she looks at them, and the one on the right, she said, that one is a security guard. He's a cowboy, and he's watching over somebody. And she said, and then the one on the left, she said, oh, she said, that's a woman. She said, that's who he's taking care of. So we got 4 cowboy stories from 4 totally different sources.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Those are big, and those are pretty cool, man.
You're not going to catch dust this big. Lens flare would actually cause, I mean, even with the light coming in from this window here, you still would have had some traces of light that would have picked up, and this doesn't.
Yep. The only thing to keep in mind when addressing size of orb or something like this in a photograph is that you have the especially since it's not technically 3-dimensional, at least to the eye on the photo. So the depth, like that would be really big if it was close to the lens, but if it's further away, it might not be as big. The shape is really. You just play all the evidence right now. Just do it all in one shot. Everybody, yeah. I'm turning into Roy Orbison over here. But anyway, it's difficult to judge depth and size sometimes with photos of an orb, but
zoom into that.
The shape is really, that's the one that's not as perfectly circular as the other ones too.
Oh, right. That's a dimension to it.
Zoom to the other one.
You think that's the shadow?
So she looked at that one and she just said, oh, that's a woman. She said, that's who he's taking care of.
I feel like this one, I don't know why, it's further to the front of the camera and the other one's more towards the wall. And I know it's hard to judge, but
what's intriguing about this one is it's in the shadows. See the shadow casted right here?
Oh, right.
This actually sits back in the corner in the shadows.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell the scope of the
light, interesting.
The refraction of the light.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also difficult with a picture to, like you were saying about the size or the distance. I mean, it may look like it's in the back corner in the picture, but technically if it's up against the lens, right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this one, you can tell it's behind the chair.
I was gonna say that too. It looks like
it doesn't come in front of the wood right here. It's back behind it. See it? So you can see where it still trails down below.
That's what it looks like. It really does look like it's behind the chair.
Anthony Simonelli says it looks good.
Yeah, this one here, this one's hard to disseminate how far away it is.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
Everybody, this is Darlene. I keep clicking the damn arrow by accident. Yeah, this one's hard to tell how far away it is, so it's hard to discern the actual size of this one. But that one, you can.
Yeah, and that one is behind the chair.
Behind the chair,
I know it's just coincidence. Then you have got like.
And what's on the other side of the room?
Yeah.
That's just more tables on the back side. On the other side of the room, it's just a long, narrow lobby.
There's a bar in the corner too.
Yeah.
What's that a reflection?
The bar
is there a window to the right?
The bar was added in 1983.
Right.
What's that, Ron?
Is there a window to the right of the table also?
Yeah, you can see the light reflecting in. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, you can see the light reflecting onto the chair into the table.
Right.
But even again, I don't coming in, you can still see the shadow being cast through.
The first picture where you saw the blue chair, that was in front of the window that's there on the right.
Right, iridescent and translucent paranormal scouts. Yeah, and I don't know what the probabilities are. Again, this is not this is not my area of expertise or study, but if there's anything on the window, because the one thing you do have is you have sunlight coming in. So I don't know if
interesting is these windows are original, so they've got the little wavy, and they're not. It's not
wavy
new windows.
bubbles. Yep.
Okay.
Well, they're 105 years old.
It's interesting. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one by itself is cool, but this one is really intriguing. The way it has dimension to it is freaking cool. It almost looks like one of those suction cups they use at Chinese massage, Chinese massage suction cups. Doesn't it? Or a diaphragm, one of the two. I'm trying to discern the shape of it so everybody understands what I'm saying. You can see it's like the ring's like here, and then it like bubbles out this way.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's funny that when you talk about that ring though, is because you can see the ring on both of them. In fact, the perfectly round one, you can see it really well. But that's the same structure as a human cell. It's got that outer layer that encompasses what's inside. And
another thing cool. I think is interesting is that the one on the right is higher up. So like the one on the left is the female and the one on the right is the male, and it's higher up than hers. And that's one of the things Cherise.
Yeah, it's turned. Oh, that one actually has some depth to it. That's pretty cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, this one's a really good orb too, but this one is just wow. And I might be picking up on the dominance of it too. So
yeah.
I even got better orb pictures too.
All right. So the next one, let me stop sharing this because these next couple we don't need to zoom in on. This is the lady that got attacked. The palace attack.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to show you this, guys. This is evidence of a spiritual attack. This is pretty good stuff. I haven't seen stuff this pronounced in a while.
So this happened about 7 years ago. I get a phone call from Scott, who's now the owner of the palace. And he said one of his girls had been attacked. Would I please call her and talk to her? So I did. And her story is that she worked in the basement. She only worked a few hours a week. She was part-time. And she said she'd been down there for about 4 months. She just took care of merchandising. And then Scott had her change jobs, and now she was upstairs in the palace in the office. And she'd been there a couple of months, and she thought, I need to check on the merchandise. So at the palace, you have to walk out the back door to the alley around the corner and then back into the basement. And so she said she just, looked in and see if they need something. She's only there a couple minutes, and then she walks out to the alley to go to her car, and she has this horrible pain, and she grabs her chest and doubles over. And her mother took this picture and sent it to me. So I told her, I said, let's meet in a couple of weeks because this is very unusual for this to happen, and I want to know why. So I met her a couple of weeks later. She had the same kind of low top on, but she was completely healed. Everything was fine. And we talked, and I said, are you okay to go back down there and show me what you did? So we go back down, and again, a few minutes, and we walk out to the alley, and I'm standing there talking to her about it. And all of a sudden I see this scratch start across her chest, and I'm watching it as it's scratching her, and she felt it and looks down. So yeah, so you can see that little scratch starting. And I told her that when they were building the courthouse in 1915, they asked the palace if they could put a couple of jail cells in the basement, and where she was is where the jail cells were. They're gone now, but the bars are still up on the windows. And I said, there were stories of a man that hung himself, a couple of men that died trying to break out of the jail. And I said, for you to be there 4 months, and then you're gone for 2, and you show up for a couple of seconds, I think that he was just trying to hold on to you, trying to keep you there. because she never had any idea about ghosts or anything the whole 4 months she was working down there. And it is very haunted down there.
So let's go back to this picture.
Yeah.
So what you guys aren't really catching is not only are there scratches, and they almost look like Chinese lettering, but the discoloration on the top of her breasts, those are bruises.
Yeah. She said it was very, very painful. They rushed her to the hospital. Her mom, to.
Wow.
So not only is there scratches there, but there's surface bruising too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've never had anything like that happen again, although they have had some other dangerous things happen. They had a 60 to 80 pound section of stage that they have out on their patio that levitated and fell over on a customer, and they had to get an ambulance there.
Wow.
So I did a clearing for them about a year ago because they had done renovations and
like an Asian lettering.
Stirred up a bunch of stuff. But I feel that the ghost had felt that he had some kind of connection to her and wanted her to stay there.
Or wanted her out.
I don't know. For her to have been there for 4 months and nothing happens.
Right.
And then she just literally disappeared for 2 months and then comes back for just a few seconds. I don't know.
Well, it's very historical too that in the, the 1900s when, they had the Chinese laundries and stuff like that, and they would spend most of their time in tunnels and basements like in Tombstone.
Right.
They weren't allowed on Allen Street. They had to go through the tunnels to make their deliveries of laundry and stuff. A lot of people don't know this, but if you go deep into the history, the Chinese launderers and the ones that would do the stuff in the basements that weren't allowed up, I hate to say this because it just irks the hell out of me. The Chinese people that weren't allowed up with the white folk, right?
Right.
They did not like the white prostitutes at all. So it almost makes me wonder if she was mistaken.
She could have been, because right there at the alley was the red light district. And the red light district in Prescott ran for 4 blocks. And
Interesting.
And the parking structure where everybody parks was the red light district. And we've talked to several prostitute spirits, especially in the Palace Saloon and in Matt's Saloon.
Interesting connection we just made there. That's because if you look really close, it almost looks like Asian lettering, kind of. Well, Cherie, sure you speak Asian stuff.
That was funny.
You like how I played that?
Okay.
Seriously, you speak Japanese, correct?
Huh?
You speak Japanese, correct? Or a form of it?
Yeah, she can speak Tagalog, Japanese, English. Isn't there one more?
Can you write it at all? Is anything in here that looks similar?
No, it's not. There's nothing that you can see like hiragana or katakana. It's not. It's just.
But it's, I mean, if he's grasping for her and kind of frantically, then.
Or whipping her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would explain the bruising and the lashing.
Of course, she doesn't work there anymore either, so.
I don't blame her.
So Darlene, did it leave marks on her chest? Because because when Tony got scratched and I saw it too, I was watching the scratch just going down and getting deep and deep. It bleeds as well. There's only 3 scratch.
Yeah, but they were about this long.
Right.
Yeah.
But it leaves mark about a week or 2.
Yeah, it took a long time for it to heal.
Well, it was 2 weeks later that I met her, and there wasn't anything there then. I mean, everything was.
Well, here you go. There's the
and
follow-up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fresh though.
Yeah.
This was the fresh scratch,
yeah.
but this is her normal complexion, which
Yes.
eliminates that shows you how much she was bruising here too, on top of the
That's
lash.
scary.
The bruising is so concerning. I can't the bruising.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, did he attack her when she left and went out into the alley, because she didn't have the pain or anything while she was still downstairs? So did he follow her out to try to grasp to get her to stay? I mean, that's a question. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer too, because I know when I got scratched, I didn't even feel it until Cherie pointed it out, and then the stinging and the burning came minutes after I had even seen it.
Okay, so
I didn't feel anything. It came probably a couple minutes after I knew it was there.
So this could have happened downstairs, but she didn't feel anything until
right.
later. Yeah. Okay, that makes better sense.
But I can tell you from being somebody that's been in the hospital most of my life that surface bruising or cuts and surface bruising like that had to been a pretty severe attack for it to bruise that quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Because that would be, probably within 2 hours of her being attacked.
That's quick for bruising, because usually a bruise won't onset till the next day unless it's a severe trauma to the skin.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, really quick, guys, in about 5 minutes, UNX is going to switch over to the next audio program, but we've got more to show of Darlene's evidence, and we will be here until we get through it all. So stick around on Facebook and YouTube Live. We're going to continue the show. All right, so let's pop up the next one. This one's intriguing. Tony, I want you to analyze this one, if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is my favorite.
If you enlarge that hand.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
We tried to recreate it. It was just 2 young girls that went into the palace. And when they went through their pictures, it freaked them out so much they left.
The cool part about it is that the hand just comes out of that nest area, and then the fingers are actually around the chair.
Right.
Look at that. That's crazy.
And where's the rest of the human being that blurred?
Yeah,
if that's your dismissal theory, there's nothing. I'm saying if for someone to dismiss it, to say it's just a person, and then it's motion blur or something, where's the rest of that person?
Yes.
Right. It's definitely paranormal. No doubt about it. But what's interesting is there's a mirror behind the bar.
There's no reflection.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is that he would have to be 12 feet tall, because that's how tall the arches are.
Yep, the back of that chair is about 42 inches.
Like my size, Tony. Like my size.
Right.
The back of that chair is about Ron's height.
The other thing is that if you're, when you go, before you go into the palace, they've got pictures of the Earp brothers everywhere. And if you look closely, that looks like Virgil Earp. His mustache and everything.
You know what? You are talking to the biggest Tombstones fans on the planet, and you are exactly right. That does look like Virgil Earp, and I actually have a picture of him right above my head.
Because he's got the fat cheeks and the mustache, the dark eyes and the dark hair, and the way it's parted. Yeah.
Here. I didn't see it right away.
Oh.
And I know somebody commented about pulling trying to move the chair. The angle of the hand to me doesn't look like it's trying to move the chair. It looks like when you walk past something, you just kind of grasp it as you go.
He's just trying to hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just kind of like moving along with it, not like this.
Is the face caught in motion though?
Yeah, like the face is like it's caught in motion. It's a little bit here, and it's
yes.
there.
Yeah.
Dark eyes, dark beardish goatee, dark hair.
Right.
Let me point something out that automatically eliminates anything but the paranormal in this picture. Because if this was somebody walking by and was a camera blur, you couldn't read this gentleman's shirt.
Right.
Somebody walking by causing a camera blur.
Oh no, yeah.
Where's the rest of all this wording? The allegiance right there, the black sand.
Right.
I mean, look at that. You can see the bottles up on the shelf. Nothing is distorted but the image.
The only way you're going to get that kind of a motion blur with identifiable features and no person in the frame is if you go to DC Comics and you look for the Flash. There's no person that's going to move out of that picture fast enough and leave a blur behind them that far behind. Just
no.
Well, it's like he's in front of them and he's about to sit down, I guess. Right? Because that's what kind of it looks like. He's very tall.
Yep.
And then his arm is around, like if he's about to sit down.
Like he's going to pull the chair out. Right.
And maybe that's pay really close attention. If this was somebody walking by, thered be a bottom half.
And look at that.
That's
look
crazy.
at the gap even between the fingers. That's crazy. Look at the gap between the fingers. That's not.
All right, let me ask you this. What if it's two different things? What if that hand is not connected to the face?
Okay, I mean, that's possible. I kind of see it though, but it could be two things.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly not coming out of that guy's ass. Let's rule that out. It's
Well,
because I'm kind of following the wife.
Darlene's one of us. You already said she's one of us.
What did she say?
She will never know. She goes.
Yeah,
You never know.
just pointed out something really cool. If you look at it, there's an arm here.
Like
Right.
their hands are
Yeah.
And there's
Right.
an arm here. There is two hands in the
Because the thing
Now,
is
you have
that
to
the way his shirt is up, you know, it's like at first you think it's something coming from his body, but I'm not too sure.
That is an
I just-
absolutely fantastic photo.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, if you look really quick, now that Audra pointed that out, if you look really close, this portion almost looks like this person's hand just hanging
That's
down
what I
by
thought.
his side.
And
Yeah, just hanging down by his
somebody
side.
else grabbing on
And
top.
this is another hand coming in grabbing the chair. And they just happen to be overlapping.
I just think it's two different things.
I
two
agree.
different.
No, I think
I
they're
don't
both
know
right.
why. I've always just felt that.
Yep. No, I agree.
That's a
Yeah.
great cat.
I mean, part of what looks like a sleeve rolled up is the bottom of that guy's shirt. That's deceptive.
Yeah,
It's
this
the
right
bottom
here,
of the
yeah.
shirt. Yep. That
Right.
looks almost like a puffed up sleeve. So I don't think that's part of it. But the two hand theory certainly holds a lot of
you
weight
see
here.
it.
Yes,
You
it
see
does.
it. I see it.
But the biggest
That's
portion of this
great.
is not just the fact that you can see stuff behind it, but the biggest portion of this is there's no distortion here,
Right.
which
Yeah,
tells
that
us
hand
that
is-
you're only getting the upper part of whatever is passing by.
Right.
That hand and that face are not pareidolia. No.
Oh, dude.
I
That's
just
No, and I'm going to tell you right now that we are diehard,
Oh, I see
diehard
it. Yeah,
Tombstone
yeah.
fans. And if you guys could see this wall in front of me, it's nothing but Tombstone stuff.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, you are absolutely right. That is a dead ringer for Virgil
Yeah.
Earp.
I think so too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Oh
Virgil
my
Earp
God, you can
lived.
see his eye.
Yeah. Virgil
You see
Earp
that?
lived in Prescott for 16
Look
years.
at the hair.
So,
Yeah, you can see the eye. That's
And the
way
eyebrows.
too facial.
yeah.
So let me teach you a little secret. Morgan
No secret.
Earp had a mustache that went down like this, and he had a little French goatee that went like this. Wyatt Earp had a big black handlebar mustache that went down.
Mhm.
Virgil had the full goatee.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Virgil Earp. Or somebody that
think
looks
so.
very much like him.
Right.
Yeah, it sure looks like them.
Yeah. You can see
Wow.
the thick eyebrows too.
Roger, I'll be your Huckleberry.
And their eyes are dark. If you look at their pictures that that people have taken of them, their eyes are dark.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
It's amazing.
That's
It's a
actually
great
chilling.
I love that picture. I told Darlene, put that picture.
Yeah, we saw it. We're like, you got to come on and show this one.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a good one, right?
Darlene, when Audra and I lived in Phoenix, we would do investigations in Tombstone probably 3 to 6 times a year minimum.
Wow.
And that's actually where we met Tony and Cherie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever go to Brunchow Cabin?
No, we never made it out there.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is haunted. It just
Oh,
has
yeah.
activity all the time, constant.
All right, I'm going to continue sharing.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's a great cat.
Alice Lady Ghost Photo Bombing. Oh, this was
Oh yeah, the photo bomb. Yeah.
Oh.
This
Oh,
man
wow.
was
You see
this
these
man
little
had
girls?
taken his daughters to lunch, and he has them pose, and where they're posing is right by the restrooms, and the women's restroom is very haunted there, and
is
and
so
she
creepy.
photobombed them. She's
Wow.
shown up before at the bottom of the staircase there in the palace.
Muy creepy.
That is, you know what? That is not her living form. That is
No,
a
that's
from the
like
grave.
Grave, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But the one, every time that anyone has seen her, they say she has light colored hair and light colored dress on, long dress.
And I've been buried for 3 weeks face.
Yeah.
That is so creepy.
So I bet you these little girls wouldn't be doing their duck faces if they knew what the hell was going on.
I know.
No.
The note that the dad wrote when he sent it back to the waiter, and he said, "I don't know what this is, but you're definitely haunted." So
Wow,
The
that's
only
creepy.
the only person on the planet that I've ever seen look that dead is President Biden.
Oh.
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
No, but that's creepy though. Seriously.
That is
Wow,
that
you can
is
see
hella creepy.
the detail.
And
Yeah.
so this door frame is around 6'8", which makes
Right.
this lady about 5'6". That is creepy as hell.
it's a
Yeah.
very haunted corner. We've had other kids that have seen this one man that shows up there, and when I did a clearing, he told me that this ghost told me that he had been there longer than the palace and he wasn't leaving. And so the owners have said, okay, find out what was here before so we can find out who he is and what's going on. So that's what I'm working on now.
Wow.
That looks like it was in the restaurant part.
It is, but back in the back corner where the restrooms are. But yes, it is
Correct.
in the restaurant part.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's even
Very
more
cool.
intriguing about this, if you guys look really close, she's leaning out past the door frame.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You can see a lot of detail on that. Like a
That is a
lot.
solid apparition.
Yes. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm. And when did they show their friends? Look like
Yeah.
Not if they want to keep them.
Away.
It does. It looks like Faye Dunaway came back from the grave.
Uh,
See, I keep telling y'all the zombie apocalypse is coming. Y'all don't listen.
You know, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here for a moment, and I'm gonna play it from two different angles. But one, look at the hair color of both those girls, and then look at the face in the back. There's some similarities.
yeah.
But
Maybe-
then
Yeah.
the girl in the front, the one closest to the lens, she doesn't have a ponytail or anything. Does anybody know?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
Now you can see her hair's down. Yeah.
Her hair.
No,
is
I mean
down.
it looks like it's just straight, but that was the only thing that crossed my mind. But that's crazy.
I still didn't explain the face though.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But I was just trying to figure out, you know.
No, that's a good educated guess path to take because you're not seeing the whole face behind her. You're seeing like probably half of it with the part nostril, the one eye, the head. So
Gotcha.
I mean that's what you should do. You should try to rule out if it could be something else. So
Well, what caused me to think that was how similar the hair color and the
Right.
facial features look to the thing looking out of the door to the two girls in the picture.
yeah.
You know what, Tony? I bet you their parents wouldn't appreciate the fact that you said these two little girls look like that.
No, I don't. That wasn't anything negative. I just look at
I'm
the
just
hair.
kidding.
Look at
I'm
the
just
hair
kidding.
on whatever figure that is behind them.
Yeah, the
Maybe
color.
it's a grandmother or a great grandmother looking out, like watching
Right.
over them.
Right.
Yeah.
There are
The
some
color.
I
real
thought that.
similarities.
Hey,
Yeah.
grandma, if you're listening, do you ever come back to me like that? Can you make yourself a little bit more presentable?
Because I was thinking the same thing, Tony. I was looking at it and I thought maybe it's the hair, but then the details are just
Then you zoom
too
in on it.
striking.
Oh yeah, the
It's too
details are.
striking.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And the hair color is so similar that
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe it's someone that's just watching over them. Maybe
You can see the frown on her chin.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the sag in her cheekbone.
You can see her nose.
You can see her
Yeah,
nose
part
right
of her
here. You
nose,
can
yeah.
see
It's
the crease in
crazy.
her eyelid. That's amazing.
it really is.
And
Or it
you know
could
what?
be the person.
Great for him for catching it because there's a lot of ghost
Yeah, you wouldn't have-
investigators, researchers, whatever you want to call us, that wouldn't catch something like that right away.
Right.
Who do they think that is again? Who do they think that is?
She
Some good
was she
Big
was a
mama.
wife of one of the managers back in the day.
Okay. All
And
right.
she shows up at the bottom of the staircase. She's shown
Wow.
up there quite a bit.
Well, with a face like
And
that,
that's
she
where
wasn't one of the ladies of the night. I can tell you that right now.
That's where I got my first orb, and the orbs that I get in there are mostly turquoise. And when you enlarge it, it's just cute. It's very you want to see a pattern that has got a pattern in it. I don't know if I sent that to you or not, Chris.
You said unfortunately I didn't have enough because as you can see, we've already gone over time, and if I had put it all on here, we'd be going till 2 a.m.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing, but
yeah. So this one is back in the Hotel Vendome, and we're upstairs. And again, I told the people, take a picture. And one of the ladies in the group goes to the far end of the hall, and this is her first picture that she took.
Okay.
And you just see us. And then the second picture is you see two little dots in the hallway. You see them?
Mm-hmm.
And then her husband enlarged it and sent it to me. And it's a ghost cat chasing a ghost mouse. And that's Noble chasing a mouse.
And if everybody looks really close, these two light anomalies on the floor,
yeah.
If it was caused by any of the lighting going down the hallway, it would have been in the first photo.
Right. And that's why I tell people, take 3 pictures.
Yeah, because the people have changed position, but the angle from the camera is still the same.
Zoom in on it. Zoom in on the cat and the mouse.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, wait. We got a better one.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh.
That's
it really
Noble.
does look like it.
It really does look like a mouse.
And I tell, but see, he looks like he was an orb, you see?
Oh.
And if she'd taken the picture a few seconds later, I think it would have been a color. And if you look at the cat Noble, a few seconds later, his face would have been black like the rest of them.
Yeah, you can see the face looks like it's starting to form here.
That's the mouse, right?
Yeah,
the cat.
that's the mouse, and that's the cat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cat.
The cat's in the back.
Yes.
Yes. He's chasing the mouse. Noble is.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. The cat's the one in the back. It
Yes.
looks like a cat now.
The cat.
Can you zoom in on the cat? No. Oh yeah, there you go.
It starts to pixelate a little bit, but yeah.
It's like you can see his front paw.
Yeah, you can see the ears. You can see
and
his
his
front
body.
paw.
Yeah.
You can see his butt looks like he's crouched.
Yeah. You
It's
know
like
how
it's
they
starting to
do.
form.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even see where the tail would be. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you can make the pareidolia argument on it, but I don't know. I mean, it's really hard that it would be all connected to it like that. I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't the reflection. It wasn't in the first picture, and now it's on this one. And this one seems like it has. I don't know.
Yeah, can you zoom in on the first picture in,
Like
in the
depth.
same spot? Yeah.
Yeah, let me go back to that one. This one?
Yep. See, that's where knowing and
No,
the one
that's
before
the
it,
second-
actually.
That's the second
one.
picture where you see them on the floor. Yeah.
Right. The first picture doesn't have it.
And the first picture doesn't have it.
Right.
See, this is where your experience taking more than one photo pays off because
Right.
you didn't have a first picture to compare it to.
Right. You wouldn't know.
Everything from the light on the wall to discoloration in the carpet would be on the table.
Right.
Right.
And you know what? Even if you take the pareidolia factor out of it and don't go, hey, that's a cat and a mouse, you still have a great capture because if you go back to this picture,
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Photo 1.
there's nothing here.
Zoom in more.
Nothing.
And I have
Nothing
people
even
that'll
discernible.
send me a picture and say, is this something? And it's like, what did the other pictures look like around it? And they say, well, I didn't take any. I didn't keep them. And so this kind of helps confirm that you captured something when you take 3 pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's selling me on the possibility of anything here is that this first picture has nothing.
Right.
And then the other one, you do see what looks like a cat. So the question is, let's play devil's advocate again, right? We're being led by the same information. She's leading us. Darlene's making us want to see a cat. She's talking about cats and mice, right? So why is pareidolia not kicking in this picture, but it is in the other one? Because there's something there
Right.
that fits the visual bill enough that when you zoom in, you can actually see it. That's bizarre to me. I mean, if we're seeing patterns, it's the same lighting, it's the same hallway, it's almost an identical photo. Where's the misleading information in the first shot that you now have in the second one?
Look at that. Audra found that in the first picture, it looks like the orb. So let's call it an energy orb at this point and take the cat mouse portion out of it. is actually up here. And then you go to the second one, and now it's down here.
It does look like the same one.
Look at the angle of the lens. So that's a straight shot. Is the camera on the other one down?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he froze.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he stopped talking. I couldn't hear him.
Oh no, yeah, because I stopped talking.
Let me do this.
Oh, okay.
Let me put them somewhat side by side.
But you can see it, yeah.
Yeah, but there's not enough angle difference in the camera to make it shift that far.
No, it moves on its own.
That's a good point. Very good
it had
point.
to be moving.
And that's why I wanted to put them side by side, because the angle is just slightly different, but not enough, like Tony said.
Right.
So she actually caught it in the first photo. It was forming here.
Yeah.
And then in the second photo, they're both down here. But either way, these are regular light bulbs.
Yeah.
And even if you remove the fact that it might be that blue light caused by if this was taken with a phone, there wouldn't be two of them. Right. And the angle is not 4 foot different, because this is at least, these chair rails are about 42 to 46 inches off the floor. Max 50, but this isn't 50 because the top of this door is 6'8", so that's about 4 foot off the floor. That is a 4 foot difference in angle, because this size is the same as this size. So the angle of the picture being taken is not a 4 foot difference in angle. This actually started forming here and went to the floor.
Yeah,
right.
But what funny is that the figure is like a rat. If it's a lens flare, it would be like round, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not. But what Chris was pointing out was that in the other picture, it's 4 feet up higher.
Right.
Yeah, and even if somebody came back and did say this was lens flare, there's not enough consistency in the flare to call it lens flare. There would be more of a more streaking involved in the lens flare. There's not here, especially
you've got 4 lights in the hall too. There'd be more than one.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's actually a good catch that most people would overlook.
It's just kind of cool that her timing was so perfect that she captured that.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That's really
Noble.
cool.
Noble the cat.
And for everybody watching, these are original doors.
Yes.
That's nice.
From the late 1800s, early 1900s, because this was their form of cooling.
Yes.
So they would open these transoms down here, let the air flow down the hallway, and then they'd leave these open to try and get the air to flow into the rooms to keep them cool.
Even the wainscoting on the side, it's all original. The room numbers are the original. They had 30 rooms and 16 bathrooms when it was built, and then they did renovations, and now there's 21 rooms. They all have bathrooms.
That's cool. And for everybody watching, this is the original Berber carpet from 1901.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That one they might have changed.
But yeah, those doors are authentic. Those are solid wood paneled doors. Those are gorgeous doors.
Yeah. They are.
Look at that.
It's a neat place.
And y'all didn't know back in the 1900s they had those sprinkler systems in case of the fire.
That's right.
Just kidding. That's pretty cool how they restored that. They did a good job.
Yes.
I'm a window and door guy by trade for the last 30 years. So when I see this stuff compared to the stuff we see today, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a special place. It's very haunted.
And that's the good thing about Arizona is the dryness of the weather back there. Some of these old buildings that's what's helped preserve them for so long. Is it's not as humid as it is here on the East Coast. So
No dampness getting in.
yeah, no dampness eating that wood up. All right. That is all for the pictures. So I will stop sharing for now. There is a video that I would like to stop and pause on. We've got 3 more videos of Darlene's, and this is actually the first one. So I'm going to go back to sharing. Sorry, guys. Because I want to be able to pause the video. I can't do it on. So this one is the Masonic Temple Ghost Cat. Where'd it go? There it is.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Okay. Hang on, y'all. It's messing with me.
So this is back behind the Masonic building, and it was built in 1907. And their lodge is at a different location, and they rent out the spaces to various people. But underneath the parking structure is a sealed room.
Oh wow.
And it's been sealed for over 100 years. I tell people it's probably the national treasure because who'd expect it to be in Prescott, Arizona, right? And also in that area is where they did a majority of the hangings. And
Oh, wow.
so this one, yeah, I took one evening on a tour.
So this video is really intriguing. I want to help you explain it a little bit, Darlene. I mean, you were there, you caught the video, you know what this video is, but I've watched it about 15 times.
Okay.
So everybody watching, all of our investigator friends and stuff, our viewers that are watching, you're going to see it, and you're going to see something that appears to be just maybe a cobweb floating. But I want to pause the video in the right spot so you can actually see it, because it took me a while to catch it. So here we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Can you guys see all that right there?
Mhm.
I wish I can't. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in on the videos, but let me do it in slow motion. But if you pay really close attention, people would say, "Oh, that's just dust or a cobweb." But what's intriguing about, and I'm not saying it's not or it is, but what's intriguing is if you watch it come up, it distinctly has a motion to it and looks like the eyes of a cat. What is that?
Someone's just taken a photo. It's just the flash.
Watch it come towards the camera.
That looks like cat eyes.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I actually had to do that. The first few times I watched it, I'm like, I don't know. And then I slowed it down and did this. And it's the frame by frame that really gets you. So you guys are shining the light down there, right?
No, no one's shining the light.
Well,
I mean, I have my flash on my phone when I took this. But
That appears here.
So the light coming off. So anybody that has animals, what does a cat eyes do or a dog's eyes do when a light is kind of shining towards them?
Yeah.
Reflects back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look really close at that right there.
Yeah.
The most intriguing part about it is if you look really close. Why does it keep darkening up? There it goes. See the dark spot above the eyes? That dark spot moves with it.
It's like it's its head.
Yeah.
The top of its head.
Good.
Yeah.
See the dark spot moving with it? And that's what grasped my eye when I did this. Is there's actually
And it's I'm sorry, Chris. Is his eyes illuminating the brick wall?
No, I think that's just
Because you see when you move it, you can see the light get lighter or darker.
No, that's my computer dimming the video when I'm moving it. See when I come down and I hover over it, that's my computer doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you look very close, it's like he was laying on that step, and all of a sudden he stands
It
up.
does look like a cat.
It does look like a cat eye. So just to kind of throw a curveball on this, right? When you're talking about the way cat's eyes reflect light, it's in a corporeal sense, right? That's what a cat in physical form,
correct,
would do. So the question is, if this is a cat that is not of the living variety,
which it wasn't,
then it's interesting that the eyes, maybe it has something to do with the luminous essence of the soul concept more so than physical reflection of light.
Well, it also takes on maybe the spiritual characteristic of cats can see in the dark, and that's what causes their eyes to illuminate when it's reflecting. Maybe it took it with it so it could still see at night, and maybe that's why it's kind of replicating what happened to it in its lifetime. Maybe the theory.
Yeah.
But what intrigued me on it was that black shape above the eyes follows the eyes, like it's the
Right.
top of its head or something. So that was.
I really never paid any attention to that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool capture. I was following it. As I was following it, I was like, wait a minute. I got too close to Ron. So I was following the cat.
Yeah, and if you look at the still shot right there, I mean, that actually almost looks like it has a little chin below it too, a little bit. Right down, right here.
Yeah.
Is that Chester from Alice in Wonderland?
There you go.
That's what I thought.
Wow. Hey, Warren back there smoking a pipe.
Alice.
Audra's behind all this.
Yeah, Audra's behind all this.
All right. So now we'll stop showing the rest of them. We don't need to. There we go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now the next two videos we won't be able to talk during because they're coming through StreamYard.
He puts the cat in patch.
Ladies' restroom at the Palace. You want to tell us about that one, Darlene?
Yeah, because the restroom is very haunted, and I've had to do several clearings in there. And the way they have it set up, they have a window that faces one of the big mirrors. And I told her this was a portal, and that's why things just kept coming in there. So we were in there, and we had a spirit box going, and they were asking questions, and I'm recording with my phone, and you'll see a little orb that runs up beside Maureen, who's standing there, but then you see a big one that comes straight at me. And I think that's the man that refuses to leave.
Okay.
But I told him I said, I'll do a clearing. We put a curtain up. I'll put a crystal behind the curtain and help diffuse that energy so that they won't keep coming in. They've had the paper towel dispenser fly off and hit one of the customers in the head. Again, they had to have an ambulance. And the owner at the time had called and said, Darlene, you need to come do your juju stuff because we got weird stuff going on.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here we go. And it's quick, so if I have to show it again, we will. Here we go.
Wait. You don't want us to leave? Wait a little more.
Look. Wow. That was
interesting.
bright.
Yeah.
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 And it was the only one, other than that little one, that was the only one that really showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the managers was sitting behind me, grabbing my shirt, screaming, and I said, "You'll never make it on an investigation." So.
It was pretty bright.
Yeah, it was very bright.
It was bright.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
So
Carol
we've
Garcia.
done the Estes method in there before, and I've had them tell me to F off. So
You always get at least one of those.
Oh yeah, I mean, and really, it's surprising that we haven't had more because we're working with minors, that's there, and and usually you just change the tone of the questions, and then they calm down, and then it all works out very well.
Yeah. Just for clarification, so the show doesn't get pulled. That's minors with an ER.
That's right.
Yeah. You can picture that looking for gold, right?
Yeah.
Helmet, pickaxe kind of thing.
Yes, I got to tell you, I love our viewers because we were talking about how cat's eyes illuminate.
Earlier on.
Gotta love our viewers. I was talking about how the cat's eyes illuminate when you shine lights in it. So Carol decided to blind her cat tonight.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So yes, Carol, your cat's eyes light up, but now it runs into walls.
Yeah.
And Carol, when you wake up with scratches on both cheeks, that wasn't paranormal. That was your cat getting back.
That's called payback.
Yep.
Yeah.
I slept like crap last night. I kept hearing this bumping. Found out it was my cat. Scott wants to see that video again, so we'll play it real quick.
Yeah.
Wait. You don't want us to leave? We can wait a little more.
Look.
And it changes. And it
Little
changes shape.
Yeah.
It
along the
changes.
way.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Tony froze like the end of an 80s sitcom again.
Take a picture now. Take a picture.
It looks like an episode of Three's Company.
I know.
That's awesome.
He
Oh, he must have heard us. He logged out.
Oh,
Did you
what?
picture that, Ron? He did. For everybody that heard
Oh,
that,
I will not knock on your door.
We'll be in the same room in a week and a half. That's gonna be a topic.
That is funny. Cherie looks pretty.
Awesome.
That's funny.
Let's get I can see if they pop back in before we show the last piece.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Darlene's like, yeah, it's only 7 o'clock here. You guys are good.
See, you
Yeah,
don't need to
it's
put
still
on
early.
for funny
Yeah,
stuff to happen.
Us and Ron and Lourdes are on the East Coast, so here it's 10:30
Yeah.
because of
Well,
daylight savings
have you
time.
guys been in the palace? Did you ever go in the palace when you were here? Palace
Where
Saloon?
is the palace? It's been a while since I was in
Prescott.
Prescott. Yeah, which
Yeah,
part of
but
Prescott?
where?
It's on Whiskey Row.
I have been in every bar on Whiskey Row a few times,
you've
but
been
I
there.
don't remember half of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So it's the oldest saloon in Arizona. the
Yes, I've
palace
been in the
is.
palace. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I actually
That
stayed in the
sounds
hotel.
cool.
I actually stayed in the hotel on the corner, and that hotel.
Hotel St. Michael's.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the ones that don't talk about their ghost, and their staff will get fired if they do talk about their ghost.
Yes.
Really?
I can tell you, I stayed there a couple times, and I didn't sleep a wink.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even.
Well, what's freaky about the Hotel St. Michael is the rooms are still the same size
Yep.
as they were.
Hmm.
They didn't
So-
expand them.
It burned down in 1900 in the Great Fire. So the way it is from 1901, that's what it is. That's the way it is. And the restrooms are very tiny. They do have ghost of kids that play in the elevator. They do like that. And people that does my tour, they've shared stories, things that's happened to them, but they don't want to participate in any
I
haunted
actually had
stuff.
my pant leg tugged on in the elevator.
What?
Okay.
My ex-wife wouldn't get in the elevator because it's the old 1900. You got to close the gate behind you, and you got to push in the button, and it's a
And
little,
pray that it goes up or down.
yeah. Pray that it stays up when it goes up.
Yeah.
So there's a guest there and they ask questions about paranormal. They
They won't
won't
answer.
say anything. Wow.
No. Like one
Look at-
couple was staying there and they got ready. They go out in the hall, shut the door and lock it. And then she's like, oh, I forgot the tickets. They turn right around and unlock the door and all the windows are open and the air conditioner's going and it's January. And so they go downstairs and said, okay, someone got into our room. How did that happen? And they said, no one got in your room. They said, but the windows are open. We were gone 2 seconds, and they kept saying, no one else can get in your room. You're the only one with the key. So they don't talk about them.
What is that noise?
It's something going on. I know that one was me. I went, and it did it. And then I said, but sometimes it's happening when you guys speak too. So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
As much as we all investigate and go out to haunted locations, it doesn't surprise me that weird shit's happening on the show.
I know.
I'm recording it just in case it's saying something in response.
Yeah, no
Good.
kidding. But yeah, if anybody ever gets a chance to go to Whiskey Row, that St. Michael's Hotel, they will not talk about it. I actually asked the front desk clerk if they allowed investigations, and he went, "Here's your key."
Yeah, they don't.
Literally, he
They
wouldn't. even
tried
answer
to do a paracon there many years ago, and they would not let them investigate, go around the rooms or the halls or anything.
No.
There are places like that.
See, now you.
Yeah, I hear it.
He
There are
says
places
it's
like
against-
that.
Go ahead.
There's a place in northern New Jersey called Ringwood Manor, which teams used to get to do way before the ghost hunting stuff became popular, and they don't. We had a friend that even was on the property, a Estes Park property, near it, and he had a device in his hand. And they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm walking around the public park."
He just says it's against his religion, whoever he is. I don't know if he's the owner or what.
Well, I can tell you the gentleman at the front desk, when I asked him, said, "I'm a paranormal investigator. Do you guys let paranormal crews come in and investigate?" He went, "Here's your key to your room, sir." And he would not comment.
Wouldn't even acknowledge it.
Wouldn't even acknowledge the question.
Wow.
Well, yeah. But it's like, that's fine. It just adds more stories to what you're doing on the tours, and you just tell them, they don't allow the investigations.
But what shocks you is the first time you stay there and you actually check into the room and go, "Hang on.
Yeah.
Did I just step back in time? Because this room is exactly like it did."
Yeah. They've not. I don't know that they've updated anything on that.
Mm-hmm.
The Hacienda, though, is like you do step back in time, but it is a good time. 1927 is Hacienda.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if Tony and Sheree lost connectivity and can't come back or not. So let's go in the essence of time.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play that last clip. The last clip is your palace basement on Halloween.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So everybody watching,
did you hear the women? Did you hear the woman's voice? Did you play
I heard a hello at the end.
Oh, okay.
If you pay really close, this is a great clip of the art, Darlene. I don't know if you noticed this when you sent it to me. It appears there's an EVP in the beginning.
Right.
And then what I heard at the end is you actually hear a female say hello.
Okay.
But the biggest question is did you hear one of your guests fart?
No. So there's
Pay really close attention to this clip. If you guys thought I wasn't going to point that out, you're crazy.
There's 60 people in this basement in the palace.
Oh, wow.
Well, one of them
and
had a burrito before the investigation.
We're doing a fundraiser. We're doing a fundraiser for the veterans here in Prescott. And it's the only time the public's allowed in the basement.
Oh.
So my friend Sandy has given a demonstration on communicating with spirits with mag flashlights. She's very, very good at it. And that one.
All right, so here we go.
Turn the flashlight off, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Someone wanted to know if you'd like a whiskey. If you'd like one, light the light up again and we'll go get you one. It'll take me a few minutes, but I promise I will bring you a whiskey. If you would like one, light that red light. And the K2 meter is going off as well over here. Hello. Do you need light? No.
Or
Didn't hear the first one. At the first, the man that says, "I kill you."
Yeah, it was there.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, we'll play it again. Did you hear the fart?
At the end?
No, in the middle.
Oh, no.
It's like dead middle.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and play it again for the, let's see if anybody commented.
Yeah, I heard that I kill you. I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
It's kind of creepy sounding too.
It is. It is very
Yeah,
creepy.
Roger heard it. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Leland's on. Hey, Leland. Leland lives up in the White Mountains and he's never been to Prescott.
Oh,
Come on,
wow.
Leland.
I've been to the White Mountains. Greer.
Me too. It's pretty up there.
Yeah, it is.
It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's play that one more time. The I kill you EVP
Okay.
that appears to be captured at the beginning is that it's right at the beginning.
Right.
About 50% of the way through is the flagellants, and then right at the end, I hear a woman say hello.
Okay.
Here we go.
Turn the flashlight off, please. I'm hoping that might. Thank you very much. Thank you. Someone wanted to know if you'd like a whiskey. If you'd like one, light the light up again and we'll go get you one. It'll take me a few minutes, but I promise I will bring you a whiskey. If you would like one, light that red light. And the K2 meter is going off as well over here. Hello. Do you need light? No.
Or
Start one. Just start.
okay.
I heard all of that.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I think the hello though isn't the hello somebody in the room though?
I don't know.
I think no.
Yeah, I think the talking
Oh my
in the
God, that's funny.
I think the whispery voices in the end were people in the room.
I-
Did I kill you?
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
Did I
there's-
kill you? It's not. That was good.
Yeah. The I kill you is definitely not someone in the room, but well,
No.
human.
Is there a hello at the end? Was that someone? Or did
There
you
is a
get-
hello at the end. I'm not for sure if it's an EVP or
I
not.
think the hello sounds like Sandy. It's like what she says when the flashlight comes on. She'll say, "Oh, hello."
Oh,
So
okay,
that
okay.
might have been that.
Maybe it's because she was turned away from whoever
Right.
was holding the camera. Then yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God, that was so
but
funny.
I kill you is definitely not
That's
someone
great.
that's in there.
That's not whispery at all. That has tonality. It's low-ish, but it's got tone. That's not.
And who's to say that's not an EVP fart? Maybe it's an EVP fart.
Have you ever had those before?
Would that
You
be
know
an
what?
EVP
I
or
think we
EVP?
have.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
killing
why
you was
not?
EVP.
Why not?
Sorry, when I was reviewing your evidence, darling, I heard that. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if she even noticed that.
I hadn't. I really
That's
hadn't
funny.
noticed it.
It's very funny. It's very funny.
That is
Yeah.
funny. That is very funny.
I've got to tell the lady that sent me this because I'm sure she didn't hear it either. Because that, when she heard the first, that just kind of.
Yeah.
What's
So-
funny is I listened to it like 3 times to make sure it wasn't somebody going, and then every time I listened to it, I went, no, that wasn't.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh, she's going to crack up when I tell her that. She's going to love it. That's cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tony and Sherry won't be back. They messaged
Oh.
and their modem's not working through Cox for some reason.
Oh, darn.
It's all right. They'll be back next week.
Yep.
All right, Darlene.
I've had a great time, guys.
So right now is what we call our area of shameless plugs, which
Uh-oh.
means no shame whatsoever. Tell everybody where you're at, when your tours are, how they can contact you, where they can find you on the internet, so they can
Your
we can.
books, all that fun
That's
kind
right.
of stuff.
Okay, so it's a haunting experience tours or haunted Prescott tours. And I do the tours on Friday, Saturday night. I do private tours during the week if people, sign up ahead of time. And they can get my website. It's got all the information on it, phone number and everything, and how to get reservations. So it's fun. I talk a lot about the history, the hangings, the red light district, along with the ghost stuff too. I can't imagine doing one without the other. So
That's fantastic. What's
Yeah.
your website? Tell everybody what your website is.
it's you can find it under hauntedprescott.com or a hauntingexperience-tours.com. Our book, it came out 5 years ago, is Haunted Prescott, and our new one is The Haunted Mining Towns of Arizona. That comes out in September. You can pre-order the book on Amazon, and it covers the whole state of Arizona. A lot of the old ruins and mining towns where they were big. There would be 200 buildings with banks and schools and churches and everything, and now there's one little ruin left and a cemetery, and
Yeah.
it's sad. It's just, progress, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our favorite town is Bisbee. We love Bisbee.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bisbee is a neat town.
Mhm.
So Bisbee and Jerome, I don't do much in those towns because it's competition.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into their territory and be competition. But we had to write about them. They had to be in the book because
Right.
it was
Right. Yeah.
amazing history.
Well, I can say in the years that we lived in Arizona, Darlene, we went through plenty of haunted tours, especially in Bisbee. And judging by your videos, your tours would kick the hell out of the tours we did in Bisbee.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I was heckling the tour guide, unfortunately.
well, never done my tour, so.
Bisbee's a great town,
Oh,
but
love Bisbee.
unfortunately, their haunted walking tour is more geared towards the tourism portion of it.
Right.
And when you get serious investigators on the tour, then especially when the investigators on the tour are sensitives on top of it.
Right.
Some of the places that they took us to, it was like, come on, guys, there's better places in Bisbee than this to go on the tour.
Right.
So I think you would do great in Bisbee, but judging by your stuff. But anyway.
Well, I've been very fortunate. And I like working with the ghosts better than humans. When I was doing readings and stuff, it was like, yeah, God, use your brain, make up your own mind about stuff instead. And the ghosts it's just important that people know they're there, that you want people to be respectful. They were here before, and that I just want people to be aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And even the troubled ones, they're all just trying to do better.
Yep.
So,
as we are through life.
Yeah, constantly, every day.
No.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for coming on,
Yeah,
Darlene. I want to reach out to our guests and thank our
thank
guests
you
for joining in. We had a ton of people. Too many for me to. Our guest list gets bigger and bigger every week, so it's way
That's
too many to go through.
wonderful.
But man, it's fantastic to have everybody here. Thank you so much. We will be back same time, same channel, same people next week. Well, Darlene won't be here, unfortunately, but
But thank you, Darlene. Thank you.
thank you,
Yeah.
Darlene.
Yeah.
Thank you.
so
It's
much.
nice to meet you guys.
taking time out of your
Appreciate
day
it
for
very
this.
Good luck with all your haunts.
Yeah, wonderful evidence.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. And remember, if you want to catch a ghost cat coming up the stairs or sitting on a chair, or by chance you want to catch one of the tourists on the tour that had a burrito and had to relieve himself, you got to go on one of Darlene's tours. But most of all, guys, you got to stay haunted. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?